Greetings, everybody. Welcome to another Mayo movie chat. And I'm here with Tim Allen tonight or late afternoon today, whatever it is.
Hello.
Welcome back, Tim. Boy, this has been a while. I think the last show I did was February.
It's been a little while.
Yeah, and I think you were thinking the show was dead. A lot of people were saying, is the movie show's dead? Yeah, just an indefinite hiatus it was, But we couldn't get Tom here for tonight's show, but you two have Tim and I, and hopefully the people in the comments, once we get a few more, will help us along because we don't have that much. I don't think. Hello, James. Thank you for joining us.
Hey, James.
And that's I was thinking we got a decent amount of comments, and I thought one of them is yours, Tim, and one of them is mine.
Yeah.
So we just have a couple of people. Hello, Richard. Well, that's one of the things. That's one of the things too. Is that let me just come right out and say it. Again, I've been just not caring as much as I should with the channel. I'm not putting content up, and when we do these movie things, I have fun, and we were getting more than usual. They were getting to be fun, But then I kind of like let that go too. And I don't know, I guess if there was more response, I'd feel more like doing them more regularly. But you gotta start small. I'm used to the other channel. I'm used to my other channel.
Yeah.
So anyway, me myself, even though it's been a long time, it's amazing that I don't have any things to talk about because I mean I've seen snippets of movies. I feel like I've been on cable and I've been seeing snippets of movies all the time. And the main thing I've been watching is Lost in Space. I'm almost done with season 3, or at least I'm halfway through. And I really have some definite thoughts on it. I mean, I know the show, as you know, Tim. Whether I know every episode by heart, no. And I know that it still goes for me. Season 1, after seeing the whole thing again, and first time in a long time, is really pretty good. There's very few episodes, I'd say.
I'll use the word stupid. There's very few stupid episodes.
Yeah. And then, then when we get to season 2, I've always said it's my worst season, and it still is after seeing them all. I was dying through some of those episodes. It's really bad, some of them. But I think I can find. I don't know. I should have wrote this down because I want to make a video about it. I think I could find maybe 4 or 5 episodes that I really enjoy from season 2. The rest are just so dumb, and I was dying with the Admiral Zark. I'm trying to remember. Doc knows all these characters, and the one with the haunted castle or whatever. This questing beast. Dragon Lady. Oh my God. The stuff I was sitting through was unbelievable. And then I stayed right by it. My girlfriend's been subjected to these because we usually watch these after dinner, and she falls asleep. She chooses to have a nap because she don't want to see them. But when she was awake, sometimes, she says, yeah, I could see it. Well, she said, and I agree with season 3, Condemned of Space and Visit to a Hostile Planet. Right away, but I love season 3. I love the theme music better. And there's some clunkers in there too. But boy, I see a lot of time being devoted more to Guy Williams and to Mark Goddard. And, Professor Robinson with Hunter's Moon when it's like the most dangerous game and he's the hunted. I mean, there's so many more things. Smith every once in a while gets in the way. Smith, Tim, we know Dr. Smith, how Jonathan Harris played him, but he was unbearable in a lot of season 2. I mean, unbearable to me at times. And that's what I got to say. You ever been to the movies and you were like the only one in there? Yeah, it doesn't happen that often, but I've had my experiences.
So I don't think so, but
Well, thanks, Mike, and thanks for being here. We'll see if we have much of a show. As long as we have stuff to talk about that pops up, it would be great. I don't know what Big Log is talking about. Do you? Mile 22? Is that a movie
Yeah,
or a
I don't
TV
know.
show?
I, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Fill us in.
Okay, beats me. Just rewatched Psycho last night. Funny, it felt more like an episode of Alfred Hitchcock Presents, except for the final scene, which seemed very modern. Yeah, well, that's the thing with time. When time goes by, you look back on some of these things. I caught Psycho very late in life. By the time I saw that, I'd seen Brian De Palma's Dressed to Kill. I'd seen Halloween films, the Halloween franchise. I'd seen Friday the 13th. By the time I got to Psycho, it lost its edge a lot, but I still think it's a well-made movie, so I appreciate it. I still can appreciate it. Let's put it that way. Psycho.
Yeah. I don't think it's Hitchcock's best film by any means, but it's a good movie. I saw it first time I ever saw it. I think was it a midnight movie where they also showed like that long like 7 or 10 minute trailer that he did where he shows you all the rooms and all of this stuff.
Yeah, the
He does it
trailer.
himself. It's great. It's great. I saw it that way on a big screen, so that was like really cool.
It's quite a trailer. Hey, Penny Lane,
Yeah.
what's going on?
Daddy.
77 Sorcerer is a must-see masterpiece. And I do agree that Hitchcock was a master. Personally, I think his best film was 39 Steps, which I still haven't seen. All four films with Cary Grant are also exceptional. Well, North by Northwest, I've always found that kind of convoluted. I want to give it another spin.
It's very convoluted, but a lot of Hitchcock's are. They just he loves his MacGuffins, and the MacGuffins don't always. They're not supposed to make sense, and they don't. And
Yeah.
but yeah, I like his mid-50s period probably about the best. From maybe even 49 to 55 or something. Those
I
are
have a lot of early ones. I mean, if I really want to try to get an education more with him, I mean, I've seen a lot of Hitchcock movies, and I do think he was a master and a fine director, suspense master and all that. But there were some early ones that I need to catch up with. The Beast and the Bride. I don't believe so. No.
no.
Well, I placed an order for some movies on some things that are coming in the shipping. So one of these shows, I'll be able to show you new editions that I'm getting. But I don't think I got anything new for quite some time. What about you, Tim? I know you've got stuff.
I probably left a couple new ones in the other room because I was in a hurry. I was late, as you know. So, but I did grab everything I watched, and some of it was new. I don't know how much of it I can talk about because some of it was 2 months ago. But I finally got to see Love and Mercy, the Brian
Oh,
Wilson movie,
I
and
saw that.
I enjoyed it much more than I thought I would. I thought it was a good movie. I thought both actors did a really good job portraying Brian. Um, and yeah, I was really, really finally. I've been wanting to see this for so long. And I
Now,
found it for $2 at my thrift store or a buck, whichever it was.
what did you think of Paul Giamatti?
I hated his wig. Other than that, I thought he was fine, but that wig was awful.
I know it's hard for me to make the transition from the I forget from the young the first actor into John Cusack. I guess I accepted it after a while, but it wasn't a good matchup. I didn't think.
Well, I mean, I get it because Brian looked very, especially in the early '80s when that part happened. Brian was pretty thin at that point in time, and I don't know. I thought Cusack had the mannerisms though really well. I thought he did a good job.
Well, Silver Phantom brings this up from time to time. It's not that I refuse. There's just no point. I did a review. I don't know if you even saw it on Jason Lives, one of my favorite of Part 6, Friday the 13th 6, and very low views. I mean, I thought of Friday the 13th, even for a little channel, little movie channel like mine that's not out there yet, I thought would get picked up on in searches and things. Nothing doing. That's one of the reasons why I'm not spending so much time here. I mean, it's weird because if I'm not getting that much traffic or viewers, there's no point in doing it. But then again, if you don't do any videos, you're not going to get any viewers either. So it's like, it's just weird. But anyway, the whole thing with the Friday the 13th series is I just feel like I want to wait till I have more people that I feel are watching the channel. It's not that I refuse to do them. I don't care to do them at present. I definitely want to do them. And when I do them, I'm going to have some great stories to go with each one of them, because I saw every Friday the 13th film, except for the original, except for the first one, in the theater when they premiered. Okay. So, and I have like kind of stories with a lot of them. Hitch tried, I don't know how to pronounce the last name. Robert
did not.
Tried to get him to star in further films, but he didn't like Hollywood and only ever made one American film. He was also plagued by ill health throughout his entire life. Yeah, Jim is quite the film buff, I found out. Psycho 2 was better. You know, I saw that in the movies, and I thought it really was a misfire. But then I saw it in later years, and I liked it better. I appreciated it more. But is it better? I don't think it's better personally than the first one. But
I mean, the thing about Psycho that you don't find in very many Hollywood kind of movies is, you know, he killed off his heroine, you know, a third of the way into the picture. You don't do that. You know, Hitchcock did it. He was probably the first person ever to do that.
I don't want to ruin anything, but there's a movie I'll talk about. It's old. It's a movie called City of the Dead. An England movie that was released around the same time as Psycho, and they do the same thing in that movie. And some people have said that it was inspired by Psycho. And when you watch, and the movie City of the Dead is better known in the United States as Horror Hotel. That was the U.S. title. To me, it's one of the best horror films I've ever seen. In 1960, and I recommend it. City of the Dead, aka Horror Hotel. It's very atmospheric. But anyway, and I mean, the people in the extra features that were interviewed were saying, no, we knew nothing about Psycho. Well, this came out first. Or I don't. And the director, John Llewellyn Moxey, is interviewed, and he's saying he wasn't like that. Yeah. But anyway, it's interesting that both these films, Psycho and City of the Dead, aka Horror Hotel, were released like the same year and the same time. If I knew the answer to that, I'd win the lottery. You know, I'd be able to pick 6 lottery numbers. I can't tell the future. I don't know. Hopefully you'll still be alive when the time when I get around to it. I'm hoping. Let's see now. The Oscars often get it wrong. Gene Wilder should have won. Well, I don't know. What year are we talking about with that? The American film though not made was The Count of Monte Cristo. Is that the one with Tales of Witness Madness? Does that have Donald Pleasance in it? I might have seen that. By the way, I am not a Donald Pleasance fan. Every time I see him in something, I don't really care for him in it, with the exception of, ironically enough, the Halloween movies, because I think that's supposed to be over the top. And
I like him in The Great Escape. I think he's amazing.
And I haven't seen all his movies, mind you, but you know, when I see him, you just see, I don't know, something about him. But I haven't seen everything, not even enough to even say. But what I have seen him, I do like him as Dr. Loomis. You know, I think he's really, because he's crazy. He's a little touched in the head.
I'm gonna continue with things I saw.
Please do.
I saw this.
Oh no, you went and saw it.
Well, I did. I found it for $1 a while ago, and I finally watched it. And you know what? I didn't hate it. I thought it was better than the Queen film, to be honest.
Really? Wow.
Because they didn't try to make it a realistic documentary. You know, it's just a film that kind of takes you through Elton's career musically, and I liked it. I didn't hate it at all. I thought it was pretty good.
Well, I have no opinion on it because I haven't seen it, but I didn't want to see it just based on what I heard about it being all BS and all kinds of like.
No, it doesn't go in chronological order, which is fine. You know, it just uses songs to pull up things that happened to Elton, and off he goes. And I liked it. It's not the best film I've ever seen or anything, but it's worth seeing. And I watched Matt Helm, The Silencers, with Dean Martin.
And never seen it, but Matt
typical
Helm,
James Bond spy movie.
Is that like? Wait a minute, is that like in like Flint, or they got?
It's more. It's a little more over the top. I mean, look at the back cover, and that gives you the idea of what.
That looks all right with me. What
it's about, it's silly, but it's entertaining. It's not a bad film. It's a good film. I watched the film that's filled me with more horror maybe than any other film I've ever seen in my life. And that is this. I was scared. Oh my God.
No, that's not fair because
horrible.
That's not what he's got better run-of-the-mill 60s movies than that one, I think. How'd you wind up selling? Just happen to find that one or something?
Cheap? Yeah, it was at my thrift store for $1, and so I bought it and I watched it, and but it had I was happy I watched it. Now I can't think of her name. It's been so long, and I won't be able to.
Joanne Flug's not in that one, is she?
Who?
Joanne Flug is not in that one, is she?
No, Fran Jeffries is in it, and I'm interested in Fran Jeffries. So, and Marianne Mobley are the two.
Marianne Mobley.
And Fran Jeffries was the evil one.
But the thing is, like I said,
not a great Elvis movie.
I don't know how many of those you'll watch, but they're all ones that are time better spent than that one. And I don't think. And some are better soundtracks too, I dare say.
I knew going in. Oh, that's probably the worst soundtrack he ever did. I knew going in. But, this is a French World War II movie. I remember I liked it, but I don't remember much about it now because now we're going back well over a month since I watched this.
Okay,
but it's a good.
I can't remember it.
It's a French resistance movie, and it was really good. La Bataille du Rail. And it portrays the French in a really good light, which they aren't often portrayed in a good light when it comes to World War II, because the majority of the people just succumbed to the occupation, but some didn't, and that's what this film's about. I may have already watched this last year, but I think I did, but I watched it again. Sink the Bismarck, pretty good British World War II film.
Yeah, that's not my just not my wheelhouse.
Bismarck. I watched The Sailor Who Fell from the Sea, or whatever it's called, Chris Christopherson, and this was okay. It wasn't great. I liked the kid better than I liked Christopherson in it, to be honest. But okay film. Not my favorite I've ever seen. Not a huge Gregory Peck film, but one day I found all these Gregory Peck films. The Purple Plan. This again, World War II film. I don't remember it that well. It was okay. I enjoyed it. It wasn't terrible, but I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, war movies, things like that, just not my thing.
The World in His Arms, another Gregory Peck film. This one took place in the 1800s, I think. It's a pirate sort of movie. Again, not a huge I never understood why everybody loves Gregory Peck.
I love him in The Big Country. I love, in To Kill a Mockingbird. I like him in Cape Fear.
He's just so serious. I can't ever picture him laughing in his life, in his whole life. I can't. All Mine to Give. I know that this was better than I thought it was, but I don't remember much. I think these kids' parents die, and the oldest boy they either go to a home or the oldest. So before they go to a home, the oldest boy has to find a family that will take each one individually, and he splits them all up. And it's really sad, but it was really good. I remember that. I didn't hate it or anything. I liked it, but I again watched it quite a while ago now. And I watched two Jackie Cooper movies, and I don't really remember either one of them. One was The Streets of New York and Peck's Poor Boy, and one was better than the other, but at this point, I can't even remember which is which.
Well, my extended Jackie Cooper is the Our Gang comedies, and then Perry White and Superman, and then I think Columbo, a Columbo episode. That's my Jackie Cooper.
And and because we weren't doing the movie show, I'm like, I'll catch up on my something weird videos, and I've watched. I don't even remember where I left off, but I watched Trainer Horny, The Toy Box, Toys Are Not for Children, A Taste of Blood, Speed Lovers, Thunder and Dixie. I'm going to show some of these towards the end, but
yeah, show the ones that are more.
Street Corner, and Because of Eve.
Jesus.
I can't even see what this is in this. Something weird. The namesake for the movie.
I think the Toy Box I saw out of all those.
Yeah. A Smell of Honey, or A Swallow of Brine, The Brick Dollhouse, A Sweet Sickness. They're all on one disc.
Those I saw. Those I saw all of them. I had that disc.
She Devils on Wheels. Now I'm going to start showing the disc because I watched Scare Their Pants Off, which was interesting, and Satan's Bed, which is the Yoko Ono movie. Yoko's only movie, as far as I know.
That's right. Yoko's in Satan's Bed, folks.
Yep, and it's a good. It's you know it's a what they call a roughie. You know, it's Yoko is just off the boat, and she's about to get married to this guy, but before that can happen, she gets kidnapped by these people that steal all her money and abuse her, and they're doing this to all these other people too. But Yoko's like the star. So yeah, I mean, she's not bad at it in it. You feel kind of sorry for her. And it's okay. And then I saw two Satan movies, Satanus and Cynthia. I don't even want to talk about those. And now I'll talk about three that are actually really good films that people should see. Satan in High Heels. This is a fantastic movie. It really is. There's money in this movie. It's not just all horrible. And I can't think of the actress's name now that's in it, but she's a semi-famous actress. But it's been a little while since I watched it now, and I can't think of her name. And then I watched two Joe Sarno movies, Sin in the Suburbs and Swap. And these are both, again, excellent movies. And again, as far as, you know, the exploitation stuff, there's hardly any nudity in any of these three movies. There's a little bit in these two, but not very much. Not enough to go, oh my God.
You know how lucky you are to have saved all these and to have them.
Yeah, I know, because something weird is dead and gone now.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
And I had a whole bunch of them. Now I'm down to, I've saved about 3 or 4 of them, but some of them are double or triple features. Like I have the Flesh trilogy. I have the Flesh trilogy.
Some of them go for a lot of money these days. Some of them go for well over $100.
I have Mini Skirt Love. I have that one's a highlight.
But the two Joe Sarno movies are they're so well photographed and well written. They're actually movies that you want to sit down and watch because they're really good. It's about Sin in the Suburbs. What do you think it's about? They're all about wife swapping and cheating and all of this stuff.
Yeah.
But
I'm telling you.
But there's plots and there's intrigue, and it's interesting.
Some of those are really amazing movies. Yeah. They really are. Some of them are just
I wish I'd seen. There's a documentary you can watch on Tubi, at least for a while ago. I don't know if it's still there, about Joe Sarno, and it's worth watching. He made some really interesting films.
Let's catch up on some comments.
Okay.
Hello, Mike. Good to see you as always. Still can't convince you to come up, but okay. I'm still gonna not give up hope on that. Let's see. Yeah, we're talking about Jim's mentioning Tales of Witness Madness with the ensemble cast. That's the one I was thinking. Pleasance was in there. Wilder was nominated. Gene Wilder, Best Supporting in '67, and he lost to Jack Albertson for The Subject Was Roses, etc., etc. Yeah, I've seen Killers from Space. Peter Graves. Yeah, I haven't seen it in ages, but those kind of weird aliens with the bulging eyes.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. Yeah, it was one of the movies you could find at any drugstore in one of those circular racks for $10 on VHS.
It's probably free on YouTube, I would guess. It's cool how great films get buried at the box office and get new life on physical media, I guess PM is.
Yeah.
Tim, have you seen Ice Cold and Alex?
No, I have not seen that, but I do like war films. It's weird. When I was a kid, I hated them.
Yeah,
now I generally like war films.
I mean, I may see them if I'm interested in the actor, maybe, or the director, but still, even then, there's a lot that I miss. Like even though I like Charlton Heston movies, I've not seen Major Dundee. I don't care, and there's some other ones too. Well, Midway, which is not really,
Yeah. Well, but those are the ones I like. The ones that are actually based on something, so I can actually learn something about history, even if it's not 100% accurate. I still like that.
David Warner said working with Gregory Peck on The Omen was a highlight of his career. I could see that for him. For what it's worth, I always mention this anytime that this comes up. Charlton Heston turned down The Omen. And it's a shame because I would have loved to be able to say he was in a good a horror movie like the devil or something. Originally, the script was called Antichrist. It wasn't The Omen, and Heston talked about it in his diaries. But having said that, Gregory Peck was really good in it. And he gave him credit. Of course, he was great in it. But I would have liked Heston to be in. That would have been pretty cool to me too. How about Gregory Peck as Captain Ahab?
I've seen that. I've seen a lot of. I just don't. There's something too movie starish about him, if you know what I mean. It's not. I have a hard time identifying with him as a character.
I saw Time Bandits in the movie theater when it was new, and I really remember enjoying it. I saw it I think twice in the movie theater when it was new, and I never seen it since. But like so many other things, it's something that I'll do it again, and you put it off, and you run out of time after a while.
Blame Sean Penn and Madonna for George ending his film career, but that's seriously why he had enough of those two, and he got out of the movie.
He had his hands full with both of them.
Yeah, he got enough.
Tom Hagnati's seen With Nail and I. Have either of you? No, I heard it. I heard that's another good one.
Yes, I have. It's weird. It's not a film you enjoy. It's not to say it's not a good film. It's not a film you enjoy. It's like Schindler's List, great film. Do you enjoy it? No.
In 2010, they did another Wolfman movie. They tried to revive Wolfman again. I didn't see the newest one. I don't care. But I did see that one. I went to the theater for that. It wasn't bad. It was pretty good but again, like everything else, who thinks of it? So many things are forgotten. And here's something that I think should be forgotten. I hate Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 with every fiber of my being. The first one should have been. I always thought if there was ever going to be just one film that never had a sequel, there's probably a lot of them. But Texas Chainsaw Massacre should have been left alone as one crazy, sick incident, boom. In Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, first thing I hate is they go for the comedy. Turn it into a comedy. The next thing is they copy a lot of the same things they did in the first one. So it's like watching a lot of the thing Grandpa with the hammer trying to hit the girl on the head or whatever I think they did. And the last thing is all the weird characters that you met in the first one that were just like they could have been from any crazy people on the road that you just happen to run into, hitchhikers and things. Now they got kind of personalities and they're kind of like real characters and comic book characters, and that kind of ruins it for me. So that's a long answer to that one. I hate that movie. Kelly's Heroes.
Seen that. I think Telly Savalas is in that, if I'm not wrong.
I don't know all the different titles that Omen had, but I know for sure at its early stages. I mean, Charlton Heston, he has a book of his diaries that came out. And he said, just received, the script for Antichrist, we keep calling it, and blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. This, that, and the other thing. So, I mean, that working title. It's a working title. That's what I should say. Texas Chainsaw 2 is wild, fun, and crazy. Well, you see, the thing about that is, this is what the problem I always have with movies and music too, to some point. I always say one size doesn't fit all, because there's other movies that people might not like that I'll defend, and I'll say just what you're saying. I'll say, wait a minute, it's wild, it's just fun and crazy. Have a good time with it, When I like something or somebody likes something, they say it's fun, it's crazy. Just let your hair, enjoy it for what it is. Then when you don't like it, you say, oh, it's too stupid, whatever. Winds of War, I just not my wheelhouse, so I'm not interested.
No, wasn't that a mini series? So, anyway, I've never seen it.
Oh, that's someone else's new. I love Texas Chainsaw 2. It's so insane and stupid. Chop Top is legendary. There was one. I remember seeing Texas Leatherface Part 3. That one, and that was a mess because I believe it was heavily edited. And I think there's a version of Leatherface Texas Chainsaw 3 that is more the director's kind of cut thing. I haven't seen it. I saw the one with, I think it's called The Next Generation. Is it Matthew McConaughey that's in it or something? And I really didn't think much of that either. Somebody told me the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake that they did was good. It's worth seeing. And it's supposed to take place in the 1970s, like the original. And then I'm saying, well, if you're going to do that, why not just watch the 70s one? I don't know. Let's see. Now, resurrecting the old Universal monsters in modern-day films cannot be done. Well, what I feel about that is the problem with that is they're not doing them the way they should do them. I mean, what if you were more serious about it? What if you made the monsters a little more like they look in the original ones and you took it kind of serious and made it like it's a real sequel to that? I'm not saying make them like it's 1940s again, the 1940s exactly. I was going to say maybe even try them in black and white, but not a lot of people want to see black and white. But I think they could do them if they kept more faithful and stopped, all out CGI mind-numbing craziness.
You're never gonna get that. But my problem is there's a certain innocence to the monster movies of the 30s and 40s, and that's gone from movies.
Yeah, no, I agree. Problem. Yeah, Dennis Hopper's in Texas Chainsaw 2. Mandy with Cage is great original horror. Anyone looking forward to a future release? Nope. I don't know if there's any movies that I'm looking forward to. If you're talking about theatrical releases,
I don't know of any. Let's put it that way. Bill Murray's three Bill Murray movies are going to come out at some point. I suppose one of them looked okay, but I can't remember the name of it now. It's been a while since I saw the preview.
Well, let me tell you, Exorcist 3, I love Exorcist 3. I saw Exorcist 3 in the movie theater again when it came out. Yeah, I'm old, proud to say. And when I saw it, I hated it. And again, that happens in the theater, but I thought it worked better with repeat viewings on the regular TV screen. I mean, physical media, VHS at first. I had a VHS, then DVD. I think it works on repeated viewings and when you know not what to expect. I mean, it's more of a detective story. Tim, did you ever see Exorcist 3?
No, I'm not a horror guy, as you know,
Yeah.
especially modern horror. So
Yeah.
no.
Well, this is different because this is, like I said, this is more of a detective story. George C. Scott, there's the detective taking over from the role of Lee. Is it J. Lee? I get it. Lee J. Cobb from the first Exorcist, and he plays the same character. And the writer William Peter Blatty of the novel Exorcist directed Exorcist 3. So I think it's a worthy follow up to The Exorcist, skipping Exorcist 2, just Exorcist and Exorcist 3. To me, that's all I need because I've seen every one of the other ones, including the latest one, Believer, and believe me, it sucked. That's my opinion anyway. Exorcist 3 is phenomenal. Great jump scares, disturbing. Yeah, of course, it's got that one scene. They'll call it the hallway scene. That will make you jump out of your clothes. But, yeah, and what makes it for me is George C. Scott, really. I like his performance. And Brad Dourif also, I should say, who's in there. I remember when I saw Exorcist 3 the first time, I thought Brad Dourif was like cringe-worthy, awful. But, now I like him in it quite a bit. Jump scares are the only scares I get from movies. Well, I've never watched those movies. As much as I like horror, I never watched them to be scared. I don't know. I just grew up thinking that they're kind of mysterious and weird and creepy, maybe a little spooky or whatever, but I never really got scared from anything. Am I missing something important by not seeing Oppenheimer? Is it worth it? Well, I feel like I'm missing something because they say it was really good, but I don't care because I can live without it. But what do you think, Tim? Did you?
I haven't seen it either. None of us have seen it. I don't see new movies. And now that barely anything is trickling out on physical media, I only buy used movies. I don't spend $30 for a movie. And my chances of finding a used copy of Oppenheimer are pretty slim. So
somehow the Beatles got squeezed in here. The 4 Beatles biopics. I don't want to talk about them until 2028, but okay.
Yeah. We might be dead by then, so it won't really matter.
I think they're being spread out. I think, but I don't mean anything nasty by what I said. I'm just saying, it's hard for me to really speculate much about it or care. You know what I mean? I'm not really that interested in it, honestly.
I'm willing to say, though, at the box office, I'm willing to bet that it doesn't matter how good any of them are. The one about Paul will do the best box office.
Yeah, probably these days. But I think maybe John also. But
I think that's unfortunate, but I think that's the truth.
I don't think it's a wise approach the way they're going about it. I really don't. No. As far as Patton goes, there's another supposedly great film I have no interest in because of the subject matter. But
yeah, I own it. I've never watched it. I should watch it someday.
And George C. Scott is, I like him. I mean, I've seen movies. So many movies. One time, Day of the Dolphin was on, and I actually caught it from the beginning, and I watched it. And I thought it was good. I like him. I like him in The Hustler. I also like him in Dr. Strangelove, and there's a movie that ordinarily I wouldn't be interested in watching, but because of Stanley Kubrick, I was on a Kubrick craze at the time, and I watched that and I liked it. And I also saw Paths of Glory, another kind of movie that I wouldn't like, but because I was on a Kubrick craze, and this is going back to 20 years ago, probably, when I was on this craze. Time goes fast. Best movie from 1994. I can't tell one apart from the other.
I got one.
Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, I was gonna say, was Pulp Fiction from '94?
Was it 93 or 95 or was it 2001? It was
Yeah,
the same. All the
exactly. I
same.
don't know movies that way. I know music that way, but I don't know movies that way. The movies
Yeah,
just come out.
I mean, yeah, I have my answer there. I did like, I love Pulp Fiction. I think that's when the first Tarantino film I ever saw, and
Well,
I think it's a masterpiece.
it was the first Tarantino directed film. Wasn't the first Tarantino film written, but it was the first directed one.
Hmm. I've never seen Eyes Wide Shut. I've heard mixed things about it.
I only saw it once, and I probably should see it again because I didn't like it, and I've heard people really do, and I thought it was just odd, and I should see it again someday probably.
Yeah, and Tom Cruise is sometimes a hard sell for me. I think he's in there. Is he in that?
Yeah, I'm not a huge Tom Cruise fan either.
What my favorite Tom? I have 3 Tom Cruise movies that I like though. One of them is Rain Man, which for me is probably my favorite movie with Tom Cruise in it. Probably because he's playing an SOB, kind of like him. So I don't.
Well, that's what he usually plays because they think it comes easy to him.
you know. So I kind of like his role in it, and he does get redeemed at the end. I mean, it starts out,
Mhm.
I love that movie. That's good, and Dustin Hoffman is great in it. I also like Interview with the Vampire, where he plays Lestat, the vampire in it. I like that. I also like one of the rare times, and it's 20 years ago this year, 2005. One of the rare times I liked the remake. It was a surprise, and that was War of the Worlds with him. You know, I saw it on the big screen, and I think that's the only way to see that on the big screen.
I thought it was okay. I thought he was okay in Minority Report. I love the movie Magnolia, but his part's probably about my least favorite in the whole film.
And I've never seen any of the Mission Impossible movies either.
And I don't Mission Impossible 2. Is everybody hates that film, but I like it because it's a John Woo film, and I love John Woo, so I like that just because of.
Well, before I ever knew who Tom Cruise was, I saw Risky Business, and I never want to see him dancing around the house in his underwear again. I could have lived without that. Oh boy, do you like the Jaws sequels? Jaws came up. Should they make another one? Do you have an opinion on that? Because I have an opinion.
No, I don't think they should have made the first 3 sequels or 4 or however many there are. No, I don't think they should make any more. I'm not a sequels person. Make a movie and then here's an idea. Come up with a new idea and do something else.
Well, there are some good sequels. Well, for me, Jaws is the only masterpiece. It's Jaws and Jaws alone. Okay, even as a 16-year-old, when I couldn't wait to see Jaws 2 at the drive-in theater, big drive-in screen, I went with some friends to see Jaws 2. I was so disappointed because it was just, let's get as many annoying teenagers into the water to be killed off one by one. And it was just like watching a slasher movie. And I hated that about it. These days, I enjoy Jaws 2 for a couple of reasons. Number one is Roy Scheider. As a 16-year-old, I didn't care. As an older man, to see Roy Scheider, what he has to contend with his job, losing his job, nobody believing him, and trying to validate himself. That's all what I like about it. You could take everything else and the hell with it. And the last thing is, there's a scene in there with Ann Dusenberry. She screams "shark." That's a blood chilling sequence when they find her cowering on the bottom of the boat, and she saw her boyfriend get killed by the shark, and she's like, delirious. I think that's great. And so I saw part 3 in the movie theater in 3D with the glasses. Thought it sucked. The worst of the 4 to me. And Jaws the Revenge also sucks, but I'll take it over 3, if that makes any sense. I'd rather watch 4.
To me, Jaws 4 is Land Shark. That's that Saturday Night Live skit.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It's Land Shark. It's just terrible.
Mike says Eyes Wide Shut really creeped me out. Do you have a favorite Grindhouse movie? Wouldn't that be a lot of those something weirds? Grindhouse?
All of them, yeah. No,
Yeah.
all of them. I love Grindhouse movies. It'd be hard to pick one. There's just so many. Satan in High Heels is great though. That's there. I just talked about that one. That's there.
I like Dracula versus Frankenstein by Al Adamson. If that's a Grindhouse movie.
I mean, almost all. I mean, you could consider, the Pam Grier movies Grindhouse movies, and they're freaking awesome.
I like her.
There's just so many.
Back to Eyes Wide Shut. Well, I might have to see it after all. Maybe. Oh, as far as another Jaws movie, the question about another Jaws movie, it's too late. It's too late. First of all, they're going to make the shark CGI, which is bullshit crap. I think it's a little too late, but there was a time when they could have done it, maybe get Richard Dreyfuss to come back. But I think it's a little late. I think it's too late for a Jaws movie. Another movie, prequel or sequel. Cherry Carter says, "Hi guys, Cobweb's channel did a top 20 satanic themes, placed Exorcist 3 above the first. See, that shows you how good Exorcist 3 is if you ever want to take a chance. It's not, I don't think it's that horrific. It's horrific, but it's more so detectives than anything. Others on our list look suitably horrific. Lords of Salem, I'll be looking for. I don't know. That is Jaws, the musical with Taylor Swift.
There you go.
Give them the ideas. They'll take them. They'll do them.
But, to me, the whole sequels thing, let me say this just because I've been thinking about it for a while. The reason I don't like sequels is, okay, here's a movie premise. These people are living in a paradise and some weather event hits. And now all of a sudden it's a desert and it's a 90-minute movie about them surviving. That'd be an interesting movie, how their lives change and blah, 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 blah. But these days they would make 4 more sequels about just the people living in the desert, which isn't nearly, it's nothing compared to the, that's how Hollywood is now. And that's why I don't like it.
Yeah, well, there have been sequels that have been just as good and in rare cases considered better than the originals. That's happened.
Yeah, I know that, but just the way Hollywood is now, it's no imagination.
Maybe it's the same shark each Jaws and they kill the wrong one each time. Very funny. Yep. And I still don't think, I got to see Jaws the Revenge again. I still think it can be argued that it's in Ellen Brody's mind that it's the same shark following her all around, even though I realize that was the intent, because I think it's in the book, and I think it also, they even called, the tagline was, "This time it's personal," like it's after her.
Yeah.
Maybe it's personal on her behalf. Enough shit killing my family members with these sharks. I'm pissed.
Candyman, Candygram.
I'll let you know if I ever cared to see it. I never saw it, Gangs in New York, even though
I haven't either. And I should at some point. I've never seen a used copy, believe it or not. If I ever see one, I'll probably buy it and watch it.
I love Marathon Man, but I've never seen 3 Days of the Condor. And you, Tim?
I don't think I've seen either one of those, to be honest. If I saw Marathon Man, it was a long time. I may have seen them both, but it would have been a long time ago, and I don't remember them. There's just so many films.
I have not seen The Aviator. Yeah, it's a lot of films and a lot of books and a lot of records.
Yeah, I haven't seen it either. I may actually even own The Aviator, but I've never seen it.
The Shallows is good for a shark movie. Another thing, we're talking about sequels. I still have yet to see this. I don't know, I'm not rushing to see. They got this very cheap. Terminator, Dark Fate. The thing about Terminator also is, I like the first 2, really. You got the first one, you got the second one, good night. And the ending I liked for Terminator 2 was the alternate ending. It's in the extra features sometimes, where they actually successfully saved the future, and you see that Sarah Connor's an old lady, and I think she's with her maybe her grandchild or something, and they did succeed, and that's it. Story completed. 1 and 2, they saved the future. Nothing went bad, but no, they got to go on for 6 movies or 7 movies, whatever the heck it is. But and keep trying different things. And how many Terminators are going to bring?
I like Terminator 2 up till a point when I realized the guy that wrote it didn't understand the meaning of a simile. And at that point, I just stopped. I'm like, nope, this is over. I'm done. They're driving. They're driving at night. I think they're in a tractor trailer or something. There's over narration, and the narration is, we were lost. It was like driving on a long, dark road at night. And they were driving on a long, dark road at night. It wasn't like it at all. And I'm like, this is awful.
That's enough to
it took me out of the movie. I'm like, this is so poorly written. It just took me right out of the movie.
I'd have to hear.
A metaphor is.
I'd have to go back and hear that again.
I remember laughing in the theater. I was with 3 people and they're looking at me, and I just burst out laughing. I'm like, this is so ridiculous. And then
somebody was trying
the rest of the movie gone.
I read an argument somewhere. You got to make your own imagination work for you. Like somebody was arguing about the movie that it couldn't have happened because I don't know what these are all called. Is it the T-1000, the Robert Patrick, the liquid guy in the first movie? Mike, I forget their names. The hero says that the only way you can come back through time is you got to be flesh. You got to be solid. Like you got to be solid, or something to that effect. And this is a liquid thing. So how could that be? Well, I'll tell you what. The guy was mistaken. Somebody gave him the wrong information. All right, there you go. I can watch the movie, or maybe they improved it since then. They were able to overcome that problem the second time they sent the Terminator. I mean, I don't know. Some things I don't get. I'm going to go back here. A crossover Jaws with Sharknoid.
I don't know what Sharknoid is. But no, thank you.
Anybody seen Choose Me with Keith Carradine? Just came out on Criterion. An excellent film. No, I never did.
No. But Criterion is a great genre film.
That's why we need you here, Mike, so you could come up with stuff you've seen and stuff like that too.
Yes.
I'm telling you, I really believe if you did these shows, it would enhance them completely. And
yeah.
And I'm talking about, even no matter who, whether it's Tim, Tom Hunyadi, and myself, we could use you on here as well.
Oh yeah, no, Mike. I watch Mike's channel. Mike has a great channel.
Is there any musical artist you believe should have a biopic made for them because of their life story? Yeah, Joan Jett, do a really good one. There's lots of them, sure.
Badfinger should have a biopic. Their story is heartbreaking. Well,
you're asking the wrong person. If you ask me, I go back old school with Bela Lugosi and Boris Karloff first and always, and then after that, I take Christopher Lee after that. But I like them both. Terminator 1 and 2 and Predator 1 and 2, and I've never seen Predator, believe it or not. By the way, another franchise that's out of control. Alien. That's another one, Alien. Come on. The first one, you have a single alien gets on a ship. Okay. The second one, there's a whole bunch of aliens they're going to fight at once. That's it. Then you make maybe a third one where they get on Earth, aliens on Earth, taking over, like running around Earth, the city in New York or something. That's it. Come on. Covered with live tissue. Thank you, Robert. It was that it's got to have live tissue covered over it or something like that. And whatever. So I think he was mistaken, Kyle Reese. I think he made a mistake. I think he heard wrong, or somebody gave him the wrong information. Obviously because the second Terminator was able to get through. 2011, The Rum Diary is great. That set that Johnny Depp hooked up with Amber. Oh, that's Amber Heard. I know about that. Oh yeah, what a winner, boy. And I've still never seen the first Matrix, partly because I can't really take Keanu Reeves, and the other reason is because I just see that as being nonstop fake CGI headaches. Maybe I'm wrong.
And not my thing. I like to read sci-fi. I don't really like very many sci-fi movies. Not my thing.
But I'll tell you, I did like Keanu Reeves in The Devil's Advocate. I mean, I thought for him, I thought that was a more believable role. I kind of believed him in that role.
He was okay in Parenthood.
Have you seen Whiskey Galore?
Nope. Never heard of it.
Keith Carradine is awesome in Deadwood. 5 out of 5 showing movie. Am I the only one that still rates 4 out of 4? 4 stars. Five. Whoever did 5 stars really messed up everything, because if I give something 4 stars, they say, "Oh, you only like it 4 out of 5," and I said, "No, 4 out of 4." So I have to let people know that I go by the 4-star rating. And one of my pet peeves with movies, when they do a 10-point rating. Mm-hmm. And they do it with movies and they do it with music. And they say, "What do you give this album? Or what do you give this movie?" And people say, I'll give it a 7.2.
Yeah.
Or an 8.5, or give it a 6.7. It's like, listen, you've got 10 numbers. That's the reason why you don't need increments. That's why you've got 10 of these things. They're built in. It drives me crazy. This is a rant video. People do that all the time. Oh. Do you have any old movie review reference books? Oh, I have tons.
I don't think I do anymore. I used to have an Ebert one laying around, but I don't even think I have it anymore.
Yeah, I got some. And do I look at them? Not much anymore.
I've got movie books about certain topics and things, but a general reference book, I don't think I have.
I see, said the blind man. Let's see. And I still think, again, I'll talk about the old Planet of the Apes series. I'm talking about the first Planet of the Apes series, the original one. These days, I want to watch the sequels over the original. The original, of course, the original is great. It's a classic. It's the best one. It's the one that started all. Planet of the Apes, terrific. But it's such a limited premise, because you basically have astronauts. They get on a planet in the future. The apes are intelligent. The humans are mute animals. They get hunted. And like we said, and Tim was saying earlier, and Charlton Heston said, that's the story. That's it.
Yeah.
The rest of them are adventures among the monkeys, as Charlton Heston called it. He didn't want to do the sequel. But then I like, because what they did was they went back in time, and now they tried to see how it happened and what can they do to prevent it happening. Can we prevent that Charlton Heston first movie from happening? And to me, that these days, that's what I want to see. So when I do a marathon, when I watch all 5, I'm like, yeah, let's get Planet over with. Yeah, okay. Planet. Now I want to see that trying to go forward. Let's see if we can learn from our mistakes and try not to let this happen.
You know what I don't like about the first Planet of the Apes? Again, this is nitpicky, and this is going, well, logic dictates that this would happen.
Can I guess?
Go ahead.
Can I guess? He's on a planet. I hear this. I've heard this for years. Maybe it's not your gripe. He's on this planet. He sees apes. He sees people speak English. Apes are speaking English, and he doesn't realize he's on Earth. Is that what it is?
No. Well, mine's one specific scene.
Again, it's one scene.
His trial scene. If apes consider humans subhuman, like a dog, or like we would consider an ape. If an ape murdered somebody in the United States, would we put him on trial? No. So this is what I don't understand. Apes or humans are just this other species, like a dog or something. Why would they have this little hearing for him? To me, that
Well,
doesn't
again,
make any sense. I don't care if he can talk. He you know.
That may be why. But the other thing is they you can ask the question, like, there's two other astronauts. One of them, well, I think he was shot dead. The one astronaut, the black astronaut, was shot dead. They put him in a museum. So he never got a chance to.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
The second one, he must have showed his intelligence. You don't see him. It's off camera. So they lobotomized him.
Exactly.
Right. So why they didn't waste any, didn't give him a trial. Not that we know of. Maybe they did.
Exactly.
I don't think so. But
exactly. That's my problem. Why did they give Heston so much dignity when they didn't give the other two any? That to me is,
well, the trial, it was mostly a what's the word? A perfunctory kind of thing. It was a foregone conclusion before it even happened. I don't know why they were even doing it.
Yeah.
But there was some. I'm sorry. I'm excited about these movies. What's apes?
Oh, go ahead.
There's another line, because I know every line of dialogue in there, where he says, Dr. Zay says, the creature's not being tried, he's being disposed of. He said, it's scientific heresy that's being tried here, like Zira and Cornelius. That's what he says. So who knows? But so's each gal's own.
Yeah, but that's my only real problem with the movie is that part's a little silly to me. But
all right, let's go back now. Dark City is absolute must-see sci-fi. Kiefer Sutherland is amazing. The only Dark City I watched is the Charlton Heston 1950s film noir film.
Yeah, again, sci-fi not my thing when it comes to movies.
Yeah. Sin City was great. What happened with the sequel? I saw Sin City, and I got a review on it somewhere, not on my channel, but I have a database that I kept the review on. I don't remember what I didn't like about it. I mean,
I loved it.
Yeah, can't remember.
But I haven't seen the sequel. I own it. I've never watched the sequel. I also own. He did a director's cut where he put all the like scenes together. He re-edited it so that like each part it's not choppy anymore. But I haven't seen that either.
I'd have to go back and look at my old review because I don't remember a thing about it. I think things I liked about it and things I didn't. I think I was half and half, but if I remember correctly. How about a Dark City 2? Dark City 2 Urban Renewal. Do you or would you watch every movie Paul and or Ringo are in? Paul is not in many movies. I did not see Pirates of the Caribbean with Paul doing a cameo.
I haven't either. I'm not interested in Pirates.
I have not seen all Ringo's movies. I mean, I guess I would, but I wouldn't go out of my way to see them. You know what I mean?
I may have seen all of Ringo's movies, believe it or not.
By the way, two things that are coming are Magic Christian and the Caveman, but I've seen that on Blu-ray. Magic Christian I haven't seen in 40 years or something, so I need that to see that.
I remember not liking that movie at all, but that was a long time ago.
How do I find new films to go see? I generally don't, but sometimes things happen. Like there was, my girlfriend and I in the last couple of months, we were looking to see a movie and we didn't know any of them. And there was something that I did a review on called Companion, which was about having a robot companions, which we're heading to. I saw there's videos of them making them now, and it was an interesting movie, and I liked it, and I might own it. It's one I might own. So what I do is, if I happen to see something and I like it, which is rare these days, and enough to want to own it, that's really even rarer. But I don't know. It depends on the topic, maybe. It used to be actors if I liked the actor in it, I'd want to maybe see the newest movie. But now that's not the case. All the people in these movies, the old actors, are not really doing it anymore or too much. Like they're gonna do another Meet the Parents movie. I heard. All right, I might see that actually, but yeah, yeah. I don't have any of the Planet of the Apes Viewmasters reels. No. Here we go. I have to answer this. No. I thank you for bringing it up again. First of all, this is how I always answer. If people say, "How come Charlton Heston he's on a planet where people are speaking English and he doesn't realize it's Earth?" Well, first of all, they cover that in the movie because the astronauts at the beginning see things that don't make sense. They say, "What is this? The thunder and lightning, but no rain." They said there's a cloud cover at night, yet there's no moon. It's like there's all these weird things that don't add up. They say it's not Earth-like. So that's one thing. Second thing is, speaking for myself, if I was an astronaut and I landed somewhere and I was seeing apes talking and riding horses and running a government and everything like that, I don't care whether they're speaking Portuguese or English or French or whatever they're saying. The last place I think I was Earth, personally. But maybe I don't know what I'm talking about with that. And the archaeological dig, yeah, but that's interesting too, because I think the astronaut thinks that there was a culture here once before of like humans were here. They somehow came here or had a civilization at one point, but not Earth. Yeah, it's weird. Where the Buffalo Roam with Bill Murray is classic. So many movies.
I don't know about that.
You've seen it?
But yes. It's God, what's his name? It's about the guy. What's the guy that wrote Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas? What's that guy? It's about him.
I don't know what the name.
Yeah, Jack Kerouac, is that him?
There we go. What did you think of Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas? It's 5 out of 5.
Oh, my I brought that home once when I was engaged, and I thought my wife was going to shoot me after we watched it. She was depressed for weeks. Hunter Thompson, yes, Hunter Thompson. It's about Hunter Thompson. Very odd movie.
There's a Ringo Starr movie called Candy, which is supposed to suck.
It does. I've seen it. No, it doesn't. It doesn't suck. Especially, you need to see the unrated version. Trust me on this. You need to see the unrated version.
I've not seen Tales of the Unexpected. There's so many tales of this, tales of that. No. Canadian Bacon. What's Canadian Bacon?
It's a John Candy movie. I haven't seen it.
Ringo was a terrible movie. Ringo as a Spanish gardener. Well, I thought he worked out all right in Blind Man. I know Tim likes that movie.
Yeah, Ringo's hardly in Candy, but Candy's just this movie where this extremely attractive, probably 18, 19-year-old girl goes from place to place, and she's just innocent, but she's just so gorgeous that I can't not like the movie. God.
I got you.
And it's why you need to see the unrated version as opposed to
make it unrated.
Like it's on Tubi, but it's edited on Tubi.
Make it the unrated. I got you, Tim. I'm going to be calling it quits soon. Okay, noise up there. So let's just kind of spend another few minutes. And I'm going to try again. I know it doesn't mean anything until seeing is believing. Try again to do these every week. We'll see. And see if I have anything watched. Anybody else? Okay. That is it then. Okay, everybody. So thank you for joining us for this movie talk. Thank you, Tim, for making it. I appreciate it. I was ready to do it alone if I had to, but I'm glad.
Sorry, I was late
you.
for everybody that doesn't know. I got stuck in a drive-through for like 45 minutes.
Well, make a rant video about it.
Yeah.
So thank you, everybody. And oh boy, I didn't like either one of them. I thought Nosferatu was all style and no substance. Francis Ford Coppola's version was exactly that. Francis Ford Coppola's version, not Bram Stoker all the way.
Yes.
So anyway, thank you, folks. I'm signing off. Talk soon. Cheerio.